Hi guys, Zaki with another Command & Conquer Red Alert video. Now I'm doing this as a casted game because it wasn't one of the best games I've really played. It's a 4v4 match on the map Red Alert, and yes, the map is actually called Red Alert. It is a custom map. And we've got the teacher playing as the Soviets. We've got me on the same team also playing as the Soviets. And you can see me moving up to that top island. We've got Rambo on my team playing as the Allies. And we've also got Section Limburg on my team, and he's playing as the Allies. And you can see them getting some infantry out to scout early on. On the other team, we've got Mercenary playing pink, and he's playing as the Allies. We've got Legionnaire playing as a blue, and he's playing as the Allies. We've got Cupcake purple, who's playing as the Allies, and we've got Henfer in red, who's also playing as the Allies. So you can see there's a lot of Allied players here, and I did actually want to play Allies on this map. I just forgot to change my nation, so when I found out I was playing Soviets, let's just say I wasn't that best pleased, because I don't really like the Soviets on this map very much, because of the naval disadvantage that Soviets have. And you can see me bringing a lot of infantry up to try and take control of these middle islands early on. And I sort of moved my MCV to the top of this outer island just to get a foothold there, and also to give my teammates a bit more ore on that starting island. And if there's 4 people mining there, the ore can get worn down. And you can see now I'm taking an engineer to that building and to take it over so I can start building buildings here. And I'm going to build a war factory first, just so I can start getting out an ore truck and then an ore refinery and start mining off that middle ore patch. Now you can see there's a building there, but that one deletes once it reaches red health, so it can't be taken using engineers. I don't think anyway, I've never seen it happen. I don't know if you put 4 in like almost at the same time, whether it'd work. I've never tried that. But you can see that the other team, Henfer and Mercenary, blocking that entrance. And we can see that exactly the same on the other side. We've also got Legionnaire there with his blue troops. And you can see Teacher doing the same thing. And now we can see Mercenary bringing his troops forward. We're going to have to see what they can do. You can see he's bringing them towards Teacher. Those first ones are going to get wiped out if they're just running straight in. And you can see him bringing back with his troops together. And now they're going on the attack. And it looks like Teacher's having to retreat. And he's being pushed back there. But you can see I've got a lot of troops at the other side of that path. So there's no way that Mercenary is going to be able to break through. And you can see me now building those heavy tanks. And because I've got that war factory in the middle, I'm building them a lot closer to the opponent's base. And now you can see there's a little bit of fighting going on there, a tiny bit anyway. I think just some scouts going forwards. But you can see Henfer is now starting to build light tanks. So they're going to need some tanks on the right side of the map if they're going to survive much longer. You can see now I'm building up a number of heavy tanks. And we can see Rambo trying to find a way around those troops to try and get some visibility. And you can see him bringing his medium tanks now to the middle. And you can see Rambo now with the MCV. And now he's going to be able to get a base on the middle of the map. And what is essentially he's going to have access to those gems. And you can see Henfer doing the same thing. He's got an MCV. And he's going to be bringing it to that first island to get control over that ore patch. Those second MCVs will give them increased building speed, so they will be able to build buildings faster. I'm just looking for Rambo to be getting that ore refinery out, because that's really what you want to be doing straight away, if you can. And we can see Cupcake also with a MCV deployed on that first island, and Legionnaire coming also. But what Cupcake is doing now is he's getting a navy. And the thing about that is that the Soviets are very weak against the Navy, and he's also got a tech centre up, which means he's going to be able to build cruisers, and cruisers do a lot of damage to buildings, so that this puts us in a very difficult spot. And we can see Limburg also bringing some medium tanks up. You can see Rambo with 6 medium tanks there already, and I'm quite surprised they don't actually go on the attack, because Henfer hasn't got much there at all for the time being. And we can see now the Teacher has set up a base on the outer island, and that's going to be has a lot of gems, so it'll be very economically well for them. But you can see now, Cupcake coming in with the Navy, and instead of trying to fight the Navy, what I'm going to do is I'm going to send my tanks on the attack, because Soviets don't do too well against Navy, which is why I didn't really want to play as on this map. Right, you can see us destroying that construction yard. Construction yard's going down. The medium tanks are getting destroyed as well. And we're just going to have to try and push forward as much as possible at this point. We're taking out that ore refinery, which is... So he's going to lose his outer base on this first island. We're taking out that radar, well, gap generator as well. And you can see those infantry, we're just going to squash them. And we're going to take out Cupcake's construction yard and base also on this outer island. We're just getting rid of some of these tanks from Legionnaire, who seems to have a constant stream of medium tanks coming into the battle. And there's Cupcake's last building on the island. And now we're just having a look at what's going on there. You can see Henfer starting to build up his tank forces, and he might be ready for the attack soon. But we can see he's building up his destroyers. Rambo did have a cruiser, but those destroyers were able to eliminate it before it could do any damage. And now you can see there's a fight between Rambo and Henfer's destroyers. But I think Henfer's got the upper hand. You can also see that Teacher is doing some fighting against the naval units of Cupcake on the outer parts of the map. And you can see me trying to push through here. Problem is, I'm just losing tank numbers while I do it. And now Henfer's destroyer force is starting to really build. And the problem is Henfer's destroyers are basically on top of his naval yards, which means he's not going to be able to build units fast enough to build a counter force. And I think he's lost the water there. But we're going to have to see what the other players can do, because Limburg is also on that side of the map. But you can see Henfer now going for those naval yards as well as destroying destroyers at the same time. And you can see my tank force is starting to lose momentum. I've got a lot of tanks on red health there, and you can see Mercenary with his light tanks and Legionnaire coming in with his medium tanks. My tanks aren't going to last very long, and it's looking very bad for me. You can see I've lost my ore refinery in the middle of the map, and now what's going to happen is I'm going to lose my ore refinery there as well. So that's pretty much me out of the game, because I don't have enough funds to build another ore refinery. And now we can see the fight's going on here. Rambo's managed to put some of his medium tanks through, and he's going for the base, but he doesn't have many tanks there. He's only got about 4, I think, they're going to get through, and they're not going to be able to do too much. Let's see what he decides to go for. Is he going to go for maybe a construction yard kill or something else? You can see him fighting Cupcake there, and you can see he's going for the information centre. Well, Cupcake's got some medium tanks there, Legionnaire's got a lot of tanks there, and it doesn't look like Rambo is going to be able to get that building down, and he's lost quite a lot of tanks there without much benefit. And now we can see that Legionnaire is helping out with the naval units, and those destroyers taking out some of Limburg's tanks. And now it's looking very hard for us on the right side of the map. They're looking like they're getting control of the water, and they're also looking like they're getting control of the land, because you can see Henfer there with a lot of medium tanks and a lot of destroyers. And you can see Limburg is trying to put up a defence, but I don't think that's just not enough destroyers. Henfer is going to really easily have control there. That's a big problem, and Limburg is having to retreat. And yeah, he just doesn't have the... I don't think he's going to be able to build the number of units he's going to have to. And you can see now Henfer going into the base of Rambo. And with the destroyers, I think it's going to be quite easy to wipe out that base. And now we see the Teacher using MiGs and to fire down the buildings. The only problem with using MiGs on this map is it's quite a long way to travel. You've also got destroyers which can fire on ships, on MiGs. And it just takes a long time to do a lot of damage. A lot of people will have extra MCVs in this game. Right, and now you can see those were the last of my tanks, I think, that were going down there. And you can see now Henfer pushing further forward. He's taking out Limburg's tanks there. And you can see the Teacher continually going with MiG attacks. So we'll have to see how they're able to do that. And they're going for Mercenaries construction yard, and it's gone down. And I think that might be the only construction yard that Mercenary has. And I don't think they might be able to build any more, because I don't think they've built a second one, so they might not have a service depot, so that might be a big win there. But you can see Henford coming in with his destroyers against Limburg. Limburg's still got a sizable force there, but I think Henford's just got the better numbers. He's also got the tanks providing a little bit of support from the side there if any destroyers get too close to the land. And now you can see Teacher using infantry, paratroopers, and trying to cause a little bit of damage there. But you can see Henford's destroyers are overwhelming Limburg at this point in time. And you can see the Teacher is now bringing some tanks to the right side of the map just to try and provide some support from the advancing forces of Henfer. But there doesn't look like there's much that can stop him at the moment, although those paratroopers still haven't been spotted. And I think they've destroyed some of Henfer's buildings actually, so he won't be pleased about that. But at the moment, he's got the massive destroyer force. He's got the large force of medium tanks. You can see Limburg still trying to produce destroyers to try and hold him back and delay him as much as possible, but it seems inevitable that Henfer is going to be able to push forward and destroy those naval yards. They're just not going to be able to produce destroyers quick enough and are able to combat this. And it looks like Limburg even is going to lose the outer island. You can see Limburg now coming in with the tanks. He's trying to get through Henfer's force, and Henfer, having his tanks a bit to the side, has managed to let him through. So that's going to give him a direct run on his base, which is probably a little bit of a mistake. And we're just seeing those MiGs still being active, just coming back from a firing. And you can see Henfer's lost a lot of the forces of that inner island. So I think Limburg's going to kill those last two remaining power plants. And what you can see now, the force of Henfer is coming in, and you can see his destroyers are just ripping through those medium tanks and also the heavy tanks of the Teacher. And you can see Rambo having to pull back now, and Teacher's going to lose those tanks quickly. But you can see Limburg destroying those two destroyers. And we can see the Teacher, he's got Tanya. Limburg's just destroyed those two power plants, and it doesn't look like Henfer's got much left. He's got a service depot, and now he's got a small power plant, and that looks like his last building, is it? And he's out of the game. So that's all those destroyers, all those medium tanks that Henfer's got have just been eliminated. And now the tech centre's gone down for Cupcake, and also one of the construction yards from Legionnaire has also gone down, and now it's being taken out by an APC from Cupcake. But that is a turning point in this game, and that Tanya has just done so much damage. It looked like Henfer had the game won at that point, but he just didn't take enough notice of his base. I think he lost his construction yard and war factories to actual paratroopers, and then as he just continued pushing forward, basically the Tanya and the tanks from Limburg just finished him off. So that is a changing point. But you can see Legionnaire knocking Teacher off this this outer island. So we're going to have to see if there's anything they can do. Quite essentially though, what I think you can see is that top part of the map has no ore left. And you can see the bottom part of the map where my teams are does have ore left. So that's going to make a big difference. The only ore the other team can get is that which they're able to take from the middle of the map, and that is a big disadvantage. And you can see Legionnaire having to losing some of those buildings in that outer island. And you can see Rambo now pushing through. Let's see what he decides to go for. He's going for the assault on Cupcake's base. He's taken out power plant. Now he's going for the radar dome, and I'm just going to have to see what is he going to go for next. He's got war factories, construction yards. He's going to go for that large power plant, and I think it'll be low on power now, Cupcake. And now he's going to go for the tech centre of Legionnaire. That means he's going to have no map visibility. And now he's going for the construction yard of Cupcake. But I don't think Cupcake is really in this game anymore, because he doesn't seem to have an economy going, and his base is almost destroyed. We can see Cupcake there with his naval units providing a bit of damage to tanks coming through. We can see Rambo's tanks just being destroyed here, but he's done a lot of damage. And I think this is very one-sided at this minute. The problem with those naval units is they can only fire on tanks as they move past, but once they get into this base, there's nothing those naval units can do. And it doesn't look like they've got... the ore's going to regenerate very, very slowly. But we can see that Legionnaire has been now knocked off that outer island. He's only got like one turret left on it, so it doesn't look like he's going to be able to do anything there. But you can see he has got some tanks together, and also you can see there's some light tanks from Mercenary. We can see now that Limburg has got those destroyers on that side of the island, but they're getting destroyed by Cupcake's naval units. And we can see Teacher coming through, and now he's going to destroy those destroyers from Legionnaire, because there's only 4 of them, and they're right next to the bridge gaps, so they're going to get destroyed. And you can see the Teacher now starting to push in, and this is the island near to where their main base is, and you can see they've got a few buildings there. You can see there's actually some engineers being built. I don't know if that's from Legionnaire or Cupcake, maybe to try and take an MCV or something, but I don't think that's going to be possible in this game anymore. And you can see those 2 buildings being destroyed. I think it was actually Legionnaires, so I don't know why he was building those engineers actually. Don't think they would have been much use to him, but yeah, you can see the base is now just there, and you can see Teacher has got quite a lot of heavy tanks, but you can see now they're going for one last attack. You can see Legionnaire with his medium tanks, you can see Mercenary with his light tanks. We'll have to be able to see if they can do anything at all. So they're bringing them down. It's quite a decent force actually for this time in the game, since they haven't seemed to have anything recently. But let's have a look at what's going to go on in this final attack. And you can see Limburg has got a load of medium tanks there, and Rambo's also got a couple of medium tanks there, and there's no way they're going to be able to break through that. And this is good, well and truly good game. All the tanks are gone now. They've got no economy. They're trapped in that small island at the island at the top with no ore. And you can see the helicopters are in, the heavy tanks are in, a medium tank from Limburg, and they're selling up. And that is going to be well and truly good game. You can see Legionnaire sold his forces, Mercenaries out now, and now it's just a case of destroying Cupcake's last 2 buildings. You can see he's bringing his navy down to the south, but he's going to be well and truly dead after this building goes down. So that was that game, so thank you for watching, hope you enjoyed the video.